everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to have a sort of short event just to talk about PRCA membership and how you can make the most of it. The way that this is going to work is I will give a really sort of quick 10-minute overview of PRCA membership and the value that you can get from it. And then we will be speaking with three of our lovely members, and they will talk a little bit about their experience with PRCA and their membership and how they have found the best way to get value out of it. So these are just the key areas that I'm going to talk about and the ways in which you can get value from your membership. So one key value add is to show your commitment to ethics. So this can be done through our codes of conduct, which all of our members are covered by our codes of conduct. We also have our public affairs code for those in public affairs and lobbying. We've also created various different charters, all of which you can find on our website. And also, by being a member, you're also showing your support to the various campaigns that we work on throughout the year. It's a really great opportunity to build your network. So through leaders' lunches and drinks, to our member drinks, just to various networking events, both online and in person. And also as a member, you get 40% off any of our paid for events. So that's generally our awards and conferences. Just a really great way just to build your network, meet others in the industry, and also reconnect with those who you already know in the industry. It's a really great chance for you to raise your profile. So to raise your profile as an individual, so speaking at events, judging awards, getting involved in our various groups and committees, writing blogs, which we will publish on our blog page. We'll also share that across our social channels as well, and also awards. Obviously a really great way to raise your profile. And also as an agency, there's a lot of support that we can give. Some of the things are just listed, as well as other areas. Really great chance for you to upskill yourself as well as your team. So we've got a really extensive training offering. Any topic that you can think of, we've got a training course for, and various different methods of training, whether it's one of our 90-minute webinars, our online virtual classroom sessions, our face-to-face sessions. We also do leadership academies, we do boot camps. Then any of our courses can be bespoke as well, so you can tailor it to your team and to how exactly how you would want it. And as a member, you get 40% off, so it's great savings there. It's also your chance to demonstrate your commitment to for you to do that, which is the global benchmark for PR agencies. Also, once you have that, you will then be eligible for Matchmaker. And other areas to show your excellence is obviously our extensive awards program. You can access insights and data. So we do lots of research. We do some of our annual research reports. So for example, our census we do annually, just to be able to look at the various trends that are going on, as well as our benchmarking report, lots of more topical research programs going on throughout the year. Various insights as well that you can get from our events. We do sort of multiple online events each week, just to hear from experts in the industry. We've got our podcast, both Fuse and Sparks, so you can listen to that obviously in your own time. We've got our YouTube channel, as well as all of the work coming out of our various different professional boards, advisory boards, and our groups as well. And finally, just gaining industry recognition. So through thought leadership, the work that the boards are doing, any blogs that you write, any white papers, there's lots of work just always going on in the background. So really lots of opportunities there. So that's sort of your whistleblower tour of PRCA, but there are many ways that you can actually get involved and that we can actually help you to really use your membership and get the most out of it. So get involved in anything I've talked about before. And also, if you want to hear more about any of that, please do contact PRCA. So the membership team, you can contact us at membership@prca.global. But there's lots of opportunities there. I think the main thing is, like, ask us. If you've got a question that you think we might be able to help with, ask us. You know, we've got a really, really extensive network. So if we can't help you, there might be somebody else who can. It might be something that we have that's just not sort of clear, or that we haven't yet put on the website. So always ask us if you've got a question. Get on our ambassador list. So our ambassador program is for someone within an agency to sign up to our ambassador list. And every month we give a bit of an overview as to what's coming up. And it comes from my colleague Alicia, who some of you might know. And you know, if you have problems logging into the website, or you want to sign some people up to an event or get some more information, you can reply to her, and it is to her as opposed to a mail system. And also set up quarterly meetings. We want to hear what's going on with you and any changes with your agency or anything that we might be able to help with. So I think the regular touch points, as well as us being able to tell you what's coming up and how there are areas that you can get involved. And we can join a team meeting just to make sure that everyone across your agency is aware of, you know, the membership and how they can make the most out of it. And I think just like keep us updated, and let's just sort of stay in touch, really. So this is how you can get in touch with us. And now I'm going to ask our panelists to join me here, and we'll just have a chat with them. Hi, Laura, and Lisa. So, just a quick introduction. So, Laura Kolb is from CCGroup and have been members for many years.
Many years.
Laura Perry is from Tangerine Comms, and relatively new members.
Yeah.
And Lisa, you're from Viva PR, and also been members for quite a while.
Quite a while, that's right, yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining. And I think, you know, just for those watching, we've got sort of a range of how like the different areas that you value most from the membership. So I think what might be good just to start off is, like, if each of you just says, you know, the areas that you value the most from your membership. So Laura Kolb, should we start with you?
I think the areas that we value most, or the biggest one for us, is training, definitely. I'll talk a bit more about that a bit later, but we use the PRCA for most of our training. It's industry specific, so we have trainers who get it, and that really helps. Definitely the access to industry data and the benchmarking is super helpful, as well as CMS.
Brilliant, thank you. And Laura Perry, what would...
Oh, sorry. For us, I mean, there's quite a lot of things. We're relatively new, but for us, one of the biggest pulls is we're based in Manchester. We're an agency that operates on a national level, but because we're based in Manchester, the networking opportunities majority based in London, and being part of a network like the PRCA helps us to tap into more networking events, either virtually or by the quality of the in-person events is really strong. But there's also been more held up north as well, which is great. We've attended quite a lot of roundtables on growth, which have been really, really beneficial. But again, like the benchmarking as well, because obviously we're not based in London and there are quite a lot of PR agencies concentrated there, the opportunities to learn from your peers, you know, or speak to people isn't always there as easy as it would be where we're based in London. So I think that's really beneficial for us, like having access to those benchmarking docs, being brought together with your peers to discuss kind of what's going on in the industry and reflect. And the PRCA provides obviously multiple opportunities for that.
Brilliant, thank you. And Lisa, I saw you sort of nodding along because you're also based in Manchester, aren't you?
We are. I actually met Laura through the PRCA at the event in November. So I
Oh.
echo what both of you have said. It's like you said, it's that training, it's the insights, but it's the opportunities to meet peers in the same network. But like Laura said, when you're northern based, there's not as many opportunities. So they're really, really valuable to hear about the challenges that other agencies are going through or the opportunities and just share that best practice.
Yeah, and that's something that we often hear, sort of, I think, regardless of where in the country is the leaders events that we do as well. And I think it's just that reassurance, from those heading up agencies, just to hear that others are facing the same challenges, as well as, the same positives as well. I think it's nice just to know that you've got that community and it is very supportive there.
Just
And
following up on what you said, Renna, as well,
yes,
what we've set up the quarterly meeting with Alicia, and we found that really valuable. Just to make it a checkpoint to make sure we just check in and say, what's new, what should we hear about, what are we missing, or can you help us with this, or can you put us in touch with that person? That's been really valuable.
brilliant, good. I'm pleased that is, because I think that, as I've said before, it's really useful also for us to know what you're doing as well. And then there might be different areas that we might not have talked about, what PRCA is doing that we can get you more involved in and that can sort of help support, whatever your objectives are for the year. So I think that the regular touch points are really, really useful on both sides. So I'm really pleased that you are that you're finding those useful. So we talked a bit about training. Laura Kolb, I'm going to start with you because you did also mention the training first, and I know that you've been doing it. You've got it quite structured and very well organised. But can you just tell us a little bit about how the training's benefited you and your team, and just sort of how you've worked well with our training team?
Yeah,
I know you and Sue have been
absolutely. So each year we do our appraisals around June and July, and everybody has identified personal training to attend to. And plus we have our overall strategic goals for the company, which include often training. So basically I go to the training team at the PRCA and say, here's what I need. And it can be individual training as well as a more tailored group training. And that I've really enjoyed, that every single session can be tailored to what we need. And it's been super flexible, which I've appreciated. So sometimes, the generic training won't quite cut it, but I like, oh, we actually want to focus on this a little bit more. Can you do that? Absolutely. The answer is always yes, which is fantastic. And we also use the PRCA CPD program in addition. But I'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've done a huge range of training, from very specific sort of PR training and writing to the softer skills one with Jane Fordham, people management training, which is fabulous. Highly recommend. But yeah, it's always really good and really thought through, I found.
Brilliant. And do you find that you do more of the sort of face-to-face training, or are you doing a little bit online?
Range. We try these days to do more face-to-face training, because we feel it's just nice to get the team together where we can. But it's really good to access both options. We've got a couple of people working in Manchester and Liverpool, even one in Switzerland. So it's handy to have that option.
Well, I know that we are doing more face-to-face training in Manchester and other nations and regions in the UK. I'm not sure about Switzerland yet. Don't know what the need is there, but yeah, there definitely is more face-to-face. But I think that we found, and Lisa and Laura Perry, hopefully you'll be able to agree and maybe give some examples that you've used, that the training online, sort of when we were forced to go online with COVID, is actually the quality hasn't dropped. Which I think is something that we were obviously worried about, but I think, yeah, Lisa, I think you at Viva PR do some training with us, don't you?
We do, yeah. So each year, similar to Laura, we've got a training program, so everyone does their career development reviews. from that, we identify training, but we always identify training throughout the year in terms of it might be a new service, or it might be someone's had a promotion or is looking to be promoted, to make sure we've got the right skills in place. So we identify those opportunities. So at any given time, we've got different people at different levels who need different training needs, but then also more general awareness of things like AI, for example, which would be the team wide. So yes, we've taken part in a number of face-to-face and also online training courses, and we've found all of them really valuable.
Brilliant. Laura Perry, I'm not sure if you've had a chance yet in your membership to do any training with us.
No, but I did. We are booking some at the moment. So we have our own training platform internally called Homegrown, which works in a slightly different way, but we are integrating some of the PRCA training into it because, you know, we think there's some really fantastic courses available and we want to, you know, tap into those. So hopefully if I'm sitting here this time next year, I'll be able to answer this much better. So yeah.
Perfect. No, that's great. So as I mentioned before, and as I know that many of you know, we have lots of networking opportunities. And obviously, I think Laura and Lisa not being in London, how has the PRCA membership sort of helped you with those, you know, being able to network with the wider industry?
I'm happy to talk on this. So there's quite a lot of events that the PRCA hold. Some of the bigger events are in London, but they obviously give us a reason to come down, and we can come down for the day. But it's an intense day, but we get a lot from it. We've also had spokespeople from Tangerine speaking at these events, which is obviously great profiling for the agency, gives us a floor. So we've spoken on the topic of AI. I believe we're speaking on at the measurement conference later in the year as well. But there's also been quite a few roundtables that we've attended, of which Lisa and I were at one. And it does just give you an opportunity to get in the same room and understand kind of what everyone else is going through, recognize that it's the same, or where it's different, maybe take learnings from one another as well. So it's just, for me and Tangerine, it's those opportunities to come together that the PRCA facilitates, and the quality of those events, be those big conferences or small roundtables, I would say is fantastic.
Brilliant, thank you. And Laura Cole, you want to talk a little bit about sort of the London ones that you and your team have been able to attend?
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to have access to networking opportunities, particularly for our younger team members who are just starting out. You know, they don't have to go looking for them as much. So it's just, you know, there's so many different sort of focuses, is that the word? I don't know. But there are so many that they can access. So it's just really handy to have them all, you know, and send in an email, you know, it's just easy. And that's so much, you know, so appreciated in a busy world of PR.
Yes, I mean, I think that's another thing we do try and do, is just to make things and make using your membership as easy as possible. And we're, you know, that's where the quarterly meetings, you know, came out of, as well as the ambassador list. And we're always open to whatever we can do to help our members to use the membership. Obviously, since the pandemic, we're doing a lot more of our events online, especially, you know, some of our group events. I think, you know, feedback that we've received has been that we've been able to get a different quality of speaker, because if they're online, it doesn't really matter where they are. There's only really time differences that you have to be considerate of. And also, you know, means that the audience and attending can be anywhere as well. So just be interesting to hear from you how you found these beneficial. Lisa, do you and Viva come to many of our online events?
Not something that we've really taken much up of recently. However, again, the meetings with Alicia, and also, just like you said, the regular emails and just the reminders of things, whether that be training or events, it's really useful just to make sure that it's in the forefront of our minds. And I'm sure, based on what Laura and Laura are going to say in a second, I'll be signing up for the next one. So
Brilliant, thank you. um, Laura, whichever Laura wants to.
I'll go Laura Perry. I think it's just, like I said before, it's just easy in this post-pandemic world to have access to training courses in a variety of formats, and also for different personalities, you know. Sometimes it's scary to go into a room of strangers for training, put myself in there. And having it be online is great. I think it's inclusive. You know, anyone has disabilities or children or whatever, you can still participate, you can still grow, you can still get somewhere without having to travel. So it's great. And I don't think the quality goes down. I think the training has been thought through to make it work in an online setting where it's been online.
Great. Laura Perry, do you have anything to add for this?
I think I would just echo what Laura and Lisa have both said, just great access. And I might be wrong, are they recorded as well, the online sessions?
So the training, no, not really. Some of our webinars are recorded, but a lot of our events are recorded and either available if you ask us for them or on our YouTube channel.
Because I think that's sometimes if we say, for example, I might attend something and think this is really useful and I'm able to share it with the team if they weren't then able to attend. I think, so for example, like the new Biz Barometer webinar the other day, I took the key points, but obviously circulated the paper as when it came round. But it was just, you know, being able to point the team in the direction of those things for them to then be able to go and find out more themselves is just really handy, which you kind of wouldn't get from an in-person event. So there's pros and cons to both as well.
Yeah, well, I think with any of our events, always, if you can't find it on our YouTube channel, always ask us. And if it has been recorded, then we can send the link across to you to share it with the team, because also not everyone is available, you know, at a specific time. So yeah, you know, we try and do everything just to make all of our events as easy to hear as possible. Again, with our online events, and Laura Cole, this is mainly directed at you, is to talk about our CPD program, because I know at CCGroup, yeah, you get quite competitive about CPD, don't you?
Oh yes, quite. I think Rich, our CEO, definitely gets competitive and always wants us to be the most, or have the most points or the most people in the agency. Anyway, we do get competitive about it and quite proud. You know, the limit, I think you have to get 160 points per cycle, and we always go above that, and it's like this little competition internally. Mostly, you know, it has to do with our values. We're all about continuous learning. So in addition to what we give people, we expect everyone on the PR side to complete CPD training, and we tie it into, you know, promotions and pay rises and things like that. If you haven't completed it, you can't get promoted. So it's part of it, and we ensure everyone goes out there and keeps learning. So having this framework in place from, you know, the PR governing body is great. And yeah.
Brilliant. Well, also, you will be pleased to know that as part of our new member portal rollout, which will be in the next couple of months, that will also include our CPD platform, and we're bringing it all to the same site, and it will all be a lot simpler to use. So
that'll be helpful.
Watch this space. I think just talking about how PRCA has helped to raise your profile. So I know, Laura Perry, you talked a bit before about speaking opportunities. So if I can throw this one over to you and just see how we've helped.
So it's given us access to, speaking opportunities. So we spoke at the PRCA conference back in, I think it was September, on the topic of AI. Our Chief Digital Innovation Officer was speaking on the panel, and we'll be speaking again at the measurement conference later in the year. The quality of speakers are great, from great brands, great agencies, and it just gives your agency or your brand leaders an opportunity to profile themselves and the companies that they work for. So, and as I understand it, there's going to be more events in the schedule as the years, you know, I think there's already more in the plan this year than there was last year. So those opportunities hopefully will increase as well, which is great.
Yeah, no, there's definitely more and more events coming. So yeah, just for anyone, if you do have people who you would like to speak and to help sort of raise individual profile, do let us know, and we can definitely find opportunities for them. I think the other thing is that there obviously is things like our conferences, but also everyone speaking has to start somewhere, and you know, you get more experience by doing it more, and you know, it's a bit of a chicken and an egg situation. So I think just the variety of events that we've got, we do have, you know, online panel events, you know, that can be very sort of structured and have a lot of time to prepare for those who might not have the confidence, you know, through to those in-person, you know, 300-person conferences. So you know, at any level, let us know, because we, you know, definitely there just also to help like build up confidence in those that might not have it. Another area of raising agency profile is awards. So Lisa, I know Viva PR been very involved in our awards and won a number of them over the year.
Just like Laura said about the CPD points, the awards gets quite competitive as well, because we want to make sure we've got plenty of examples that we can put forward for our clients, but also agency as well. It tends to be more on the client side, but it's great to be able to say this campaign had this real impact and we've got an industry award because of it. So yeah, we get quite competitive with those. So it's a great opportunity to have that there with a range of different categories as well that could be relevant for different campaigns. And just coming back on what you said there, Renna, as well, about starting somewhere in terms of that confidence to speak at panels and things as well. I'd say sort of I'm on that journey as well, because I've sort of sat in the background going, oh no, I'm not that person with all that experience to speak. But from the events and from other peers, you actually realise I know a lot more than I think. And also, yeah, I have got something to say to people. So I've had the opportunity to take part in the PRCA DARE Awards for judging, and we'll be doing that again. And it gives you more confidence to say yes to taking part in more industry events or roundtables or business awards, etc. So yeah, get involved is what I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely get involved. Yeah, no, that's really nice to hear, because I think that while we definitely want to be there to bring senior people together to be able to sort of talk about, you know, the more senior like heads of agencies, what's happening in the industry. I think it's also about, you know, building people up. And I think with our, not only our events, but also with our training, we have it at those different levels. And, you know, for example, we've got our leadership academy, which is for those who are sort of stepping into that leadership role. So we like to think that in the various parts of PRCA, we're there to support those at the different stages of individuals' careers as well.
Yeah.
So really good to hear that. We also do encourage a bit of healthy competition, whether it is CPD awards or anything you want. As long as it's healthy competition, that's what we are here to encourage. I would definitely say that. Laura, do you have anything just around raising profile and?
Yeah, I mean, I think echoing what Lisa and Laura say, we've got, for example, Amber Ellis. She's a senior account executive and she's spoken at 2 PRCA panels already. And it's given her such a boost. One, she's amazing and knows her stuff. But equally, it's like given her more of a profile for herself, for CCGroup. It's led to other things as well, you know, speaking on a LinkedIn Live and things like that. And it's been amazing to watch, and amazing for someone so young and relatively new to the industry to have that opportunity is brilliant. And I love that. I think that's great. It's not elitist and doesn't leave anyone out.
Yes.
So that's good.
And that's what we hope for. And I think also the same would be around sort of the face-to-face networking. I think there's a lot of people now in the industry who are new to the industry since the pandemic. And I mean, I remember PRCA, we used to do 4 events a week. pre-pandemic, and every evening there was an event. So there was just networking opportunities everywhere, whereas now there aren't so many. And so we're really pleased to see that at, like, for example, our member drinks in London or some of our networking events, to see so many people coming now. But it still can be quite daunting, I think, for some of the more junior members of the industry. So we as PRCA staff will always try, like, if there is someone, maybe stood on their own, we'll try and make them feel a bit more comfortable, introduce them to some of our members. And everyone is really friendly. Everyone's been in that position before. So hopefully just through PRCA membership, whether it's our other members, whether it's our team, can just sort of make any of the scary parts of the industry just a little less scary. And I think, like, finally, we just ask, because I see we've got one question here, and we'll just ask, see if anyone else does have questions, please do put it in the chat box or the Q&A box. But if you can just sort of say, like, what advice would you give to other agency members of how they can get the most out of their membership? Lisa, do you want to start?
I'd say just don't be afraid to ask. I became a director at Viva last year, so my learning curve has been really quite steep. So I'm learning to take on a business, and there's a whole new host of things I didn't know. So just having the conversations and that peer support and that peer network and the training opportunities, just ask. If you can speak to the PRCA and just say, this is how I need help, what can you provide? You'd be really surprised.
Just on that, I do always say this, like, we're not afraid to say no if we can't help, and we will say no and not waste time, but we also might really be able to save time and really support. So at least I'm really pleased to hear that. Laura Cole.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, just ask. I found everybody at the PRCA super approachable and human, and I'm just like, I don't know who to ask. Can you direct me to the right place? And everyone's super helpful. And you can have meetings with Alicia or whoever to see, oh, okay, these are my struggles, or this is what I'm lacking. What can we do? And you've always been super helpful, which is amazing. So thanks.
Oh, good. I'm pleased to be happy. And Laura Perry, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd really echo that. And I would just say get stuck in. There's, I think a lot of people might join because of, say, I know we spoke about, like, the matchmaker service and the CMS accreditation, but even just going through the process of getting the CMS accreditation was really helpful and helped us identify areas in the business where we might need to tighten things up a bit, or show us where we've got really big strengths. But you just throw yourself in there, attend the event, speak to people. And I think the more you do, the more you'll want to do as well, and then the more you'll get from it. And just make sure you're sharing with the wider team, because I think this might be things that you personally aren't getting from it or don't apply to your job, but there'll be areas that, say, your people teams or other areas of the business might find really beneficial. So just open it up as much as possible, and I think the more you get stuck in, the more you'll actually see how it's helping you.
Agreed. I think the CMS accreditation as well, it's so thorough, and it's like Laura was saying, it kind of helps you fill the gaps and know where you're going wrong, but equally for new clients, it shows that you're a well-run business, and it helps for procurement in purely practical terms. If you already have everything in place, it's just easier. And since it's an annual thing, you just keep on top of things.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, yeah, CMS, there's many benefits of it. Obviously, Matchmaker is one, but I think also we hear that a lot of agencies, whether they're sort of small and growing or medium-sized and growing, sort of use it as that sort of basis to grow. And so many small agencies might start or you know, even startups might start doing it and might not get actually around to being like fully, you know, attaining CMS for a couple of years while they put it in place. But it is sort of that process of growth, and process of sort of having the foundations. So yeah, I'm really pleased to hear that. I'm just going to have a look at the questions now. So we've got a question here, which is, do you think membership has helped when you've pitched for new business?
I think to Laura's point, having that CMS accreditation specifically is beneficial for things like tenders, because there tend to be a question like, do you have any official accreditations? And I think, again, when you come to start having those negotiations with procurement, you've already got all your ducks in a row. So I do think that particularly specifically does help. But also you can talk about training programs and, you know, the events as well. You can offer speaking opportunities to your clients alongside you. So there's opportunities to profile your clients as part of that pitch process as well. So again, I just think it comes back to the more you do, the more you realise it can help you in every aspect of your business, not just new business.
Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to add on that question? And then another one, lovely to hear about the strength of the panels and the confidence it brings the PRCA offers specific training for this type of thing. Yes, we do. We have a number of different training courses, but one we've got that springs to mind. Laura, you've probably done it, because I just feel like you feel like CCGroup's done all of them. But it's our presentation skills. And the one that I did was with Jane Constantinas, and I think she does most of them, and it was brilliant. And yeah, like it's incredible. The dates for our training will be on the website, but whoever asked that question, if you want to email either training@prca.global or membership@prca.global, we can definitely help to find that. Anybody else at home have any more questions? If so, please do put it in the question box. And Laura, Lisa, any final things to add just for our agencies at home?
You know, then just go for it, explore, ask questions, and do it.
Brilliant. Yeah, I would echo that. And just a reminder to everybody, if you do want to get in touch with us, if you want any more details about anything we've spoken about today or about PRCA, please email membership@prca.global. And thank you so much, Laura and Lisa. It's been great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye.